Well, I'm back again to talk about American domestic politics, of course. And I just have to say, I saw a recent speech by Donald Trump Jr., the son of Donald Trump himself, his young clone. Of course, minus the charisma. Well, he just admitted at a Turning Point USA event that the Republican Party's fracturing in real time. MAGA is fracturing. And he's effectively admitting his dad destroyed the Republican Party. And for the first time, he said something honest on stage without really realizing he said it, as he's begging these people to turn out in droves and vote in the next elections. I mean, some of them will vote still, but it's a matter of how many of them are actually going to vote, especially when a lot of people feel like so many promises were broken and the goods were not delivered. So it remains to be seen. But it's true because now they're pushing for the American First agenda or party. Okay. It's technically fracturing from MAGA, though. And here's the thing, I get why people want to rebrand because they're not happy. Okay. And they want to be a part of something. And here's the thing, like I said before, uh, the issue with the America First movement is it's a party and a group of subtraction instead of addition. And if you don't build coalitions and you lose support and you're exclusionary, you cannot win national elections with a party fractured like that. Okay. And like I've said, the problem with MAGA and the American First movement is yes, it champions itself on nationalism and um, populism, quote unquote populism. The problem is it's not really populism. So it's effectively built on a cult of personality. And like I said, any political movement or party that builds its brand on a personality or person, like a cult of personality kind of movement, it will collapse. Okay? Because that is not going to provide a substantial movement of change. That is not going to keep people engaged. It's only going to keep their attention span for so long. So it's going to collapse. It's obvious. And the collapse is going to be massive. Okay. 2026 is just going to be a blowout against the GOP because they have no more legs to stand on. They have nothing to run on at this point. They're effectively going to let people's healthcare premiums go up. People are going to be angry about the economy. People are going to be angry about their healthcare. That's the number one thing. Two things are going to be on people's mind. Are they going to be able to live another day? Okay. And they're not doing nothing about it. They're taking all these recesses. They're not governing. They got a guy at the top running roughshod over the country doing whatever the heck he wants. Then you got the drip drip of the Epstein files. It's just one thing after another. There's so much news out there. People are just overwhelmed. And then they're trying to worry about where they can go to the grocery store and afford food or pay their rent and their mortgage, God forbid, or even go out and enjoy anything once in a while. So, and the economy is cratered in real time. So, again, it's not a movement built on cohesive issues. For a movement to last and actually build on something, it has to be built on a cohesive message with a truly populist platform that's going to push for structural change minus the cult of personality. That is the point of a freaking movement. Okay? That was never a movement. Already knew that. So, all politics aside, all politics at some point need some kind of movement to be cohesive, though. Because the standard Democrat and Republican Party who's excited by that? Nobody. And I get it. People are not excited by standard politics, the politics as usual. I get it. And I get people want their own type of politics and brand and their own group to be a part of. You know, I mean, I identify as the left. I know not everybody's going to identify as the left, though. Not everybody's going to be part of the quote unquote progressive crowd or the liberal crowd. They want a different, type of branding or movement. But if you're going to strive for a movement, whether I agree with it or not, I'm not going to agree with everything. I'm not King Kong. So what I say is not is not be all. Okay, I'm just another person like everybody else observing what's going on. All right. But it's got to be a movement built on cohesive principles of a true populist movement, minus the cult of a personality that's actually going to push for structural change to make people's lives better. Okay, so I saw a moment of admission from Donald Trump Jr. They see that they see the headwinds coming, and another thing I just saw recently was a speech by J.D. Vance telling white folks in a crowd they don't have to apologize for racism and past endeavors and all that. Fair enough. I'm white. I'm not apologizing for racism. But I'm not a racist. Okay? I'm not guilty of the past endeavors. Okay? My ancestors were. All right? I don't apologize for that personally because I didn't do anything. And it's not about us apologizing. It's about us reckoning history and understand what went wrong and what is owed in society to people that have been wronged for generations. Okay? It's just acknowledgement. It's not about condemning people for being white. Then I would condemn myself effectively. And I'm not going to agree with that. But I don't owe anybody anything because I'm white. That's not the point. Let's just be honest, though. J.D. Vance is trying to effectively distract people from the reality of their everyday lived experience right now. You being white, are you paying less for groceries? Are you paying less at the gas pump? Are you getting free medical care? Is your life getting better? The answer is no. You are suffering as much as any demographic in this country right now. Okay? Because of the failure of the government's response to make people's lives structurally better. Okay? This is a facade of distraction to convince you that you're a superior in society, but yet I'm not going to do anything to make your life better. So you're going to suffer the fruits and the challenge that everybody else is going to suffer. But just remember, you're privileged because you're white and you don't have to apologize for it. Right. Okay. Whatever. That's just BS. All right. Bottom line is these people are distracting you with their code words because they're not doing anything to make your life better. If anything, their policies are making your life worse. And they want to distract you from that reality. So, here we are. And that's all I want to discuss in this video today. See y'all later. Have a great night, and it's a beautiful night at that. Goodbye.